So hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to talk about things I didn't expect to learn as a tattoo apprentice. So if that's something you're interested in, then keep watching. In a tattoo apprenticeship you learn a lot of things like tattooing. An apprenticeship teaches you a wide range of how you can operate yourself as a business as a tattoo artist. A lot of things I learned in the apprenticeship that I expected to learn is things like how to manage my own money, how to clean my station, how to clean the shop, how to mix colors, how to trace, how to draw, things like that. But there are a lot of things in my apprenticeship that I didn't expect to learn that I have found myself learning over the past year and 8 months. And so we're going to start off with those. The biggest problem that I faced when I first started tattooing people is that I hated, could not stand hurting people. And I know that sounds really silly because I know tattoos hurt. I've gotten tattoos, they hurt. And I know, people go into tattoos expecting them to hurt. It is a painful thing. But for some reason, actually causing pain to people really, really made me uncomfortable. It was especially very difficult in the beginning when I had, difficult clients, people that couldn't really take it very well, whether it was their first tattoo ever or they had, an audience that they were performing for. I found that when people complain about the tattoo or when they're, visibly suffering and being very uncomfortable, then that makes the tattoo come out worse. I don't want to hurt them, so I'm rushing the tattoo and then I should go over that line and then I'm like, it's going to hurt them more, so I'm not going to go over the line. It makes me so much more nervous because I'm worried about working themselves up into a frenzy and passing out or something. In the past few months, my mindset has been able to shift a little bit. I've been able to focus more on the tattoo. How to focus on the tattoo only. Sometimes you have to tattoo maybe people that don't smell good or that you don't think you get along with very well. Maybe you have to tattoo undesirable areas, and it's sometimes very difficult to mentally get through doing those tattoos. Focusing on the tattoo only, it's the only thing that you have to do, the only thing that you can possibly look at. I've tattooed a lot of butt cheeks that I didn't want to tattoo. It's kind of difficult for me to get through sometimes. You have to separate the tattoo from the person that's getting the tattoo, and sometimes you have to separate the tattoo from the body that it's getting tattooed on. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a very hard lesson. How to say no. This is something I've struggled with personally in all aspects of my life. It's something that has been a constant thing that I struggle with. Setting up boundaries and my personal preferences and things like that. Learning how to tattoo has taught me how to tell people audibly no. And that can range a long way. That can range from no, I don't think that that's going to work in that area, to no, I'm not going to tattoo you at all. It's something that I really appreciate about learning how to tattoo is because a lot of these boundaries that I've always wanted to set for myself, I haven't been able to. So, and now I have that mentality of no, this is what I offer, you can take it or leave it. And that translates from my personal life to my professional life now. It's very common that people are getting tattooed to take control of their body, to get over something. It's very therapeutic in a way of, reclaiming themselves. And I talk to a lot of people that get tattoos for loved ones or for, my husband always said I couldn't get this and now he's out of my life, so now I am. I've learned how to hold my tongue when people are talking about their own experiences, and I don't want to just trauma dump my own stuff on them. People are there for a tattoo. I'm providing a service, a luxury service for them, and I can't make it all about me all the time. Another thing learning how to tattoo has taught me is how to ask for money. Still ongoing. I'm not the best at that. I don't think any tattoo artist is really comfortable asking for money unless it's like through text or something. I always try to stick by what I quoted somebody or what somebody else has quoted them, at least from our shop, just to give them like a fair expectation. And yeah, it's difficult. Since my station is the first station you see when you enter the shop, a lot of people that come through assume that I'm just the receptionist or the cashier if I'm not actively tattooing at that moment. And so a lot of times people are trying to give me money for piercings that they got or tattoos that they got from the other artists, and I have to... I don't remember what I was talking about before my camera shut off. So we're going to move on to the next one. The next one, how to move on from a bad tattoo. This is one that I get asked a lot. I see a lot of apprentices asking, how do I recover from this? How do I let this go? The only thing that I give myself as a piece of advice is that I can't change any of the past tattoos, but I can make sure that all the future ones are even better. So my first tattoo that I did on another person was all messed up. It was all blown out. There were, I didn't follow the stencil the right way on the eye section. It just looked really, really bad. But I've been tattooing on people for over a year now, and each tattoo that I do, I feel a little bit better about it. Like, instead of having that dread of, oh no, I messed up that one line, like I wish I could go back in time and fix that one line. You can't keep that mentality, because every single tattoo that you do, you could find something wrong with it. It's very easy to let yourself critique yourself and dig yourself into this mental hole where you're only ever seeing the bad things about your tattoos. You have to let, like, kind of like a Zen sort of idea, like, once it's done, it's out in the world, it's done. I've had this mentality that once I do a tattoo and it walks out the door, it's not my tattoo anymore, it's theirs. And so, once you have that mentality, they can choose to, come back later when I get better and get it fixed up, or they can choose to go to somebody else to fix it. I do offer free touch-ups for the first year for anybody that's gotten tattooed by me. It's like a rolling calendar sort of thing. So I've touched up a lot of my own work, sometimes multiple times, just because I know that, these people have trusted me with their skin, and I want to be able to give them the best tattoo that they can as I continue to get better. So you can't change the tattoos that you did in the past. You can't fix the tattoos that you messed up on. But you can't dwell on them either, because then you're going to stagnate. So that's my advice. Don't dwell on it. Just focus on doing better next time. Another thing that I've learned about tattooing is that, like I said, I have touched up a lot of my own tattoos, sometimes multiple times. That is because people come back to me. I get a lot of people coming back to me, and that's because I cracked this code, I cracked this little tidbit of information. And this holds true based off of like the podcast that I've listened to. Like, I've heard other tattoo artists talk about this. I've heard people talk about this. This is the reason why I started tattooing. And the reason is people don't care about a bad tattoo if they have a good experience. And it's the same the other way around. People don't care about a good tattoo if they had a bad experience. A lot of tattoo artists kind of stop looking at it from the client's perspective once they reach making a certain amount of money, or a certain ego, or a certain, place in their life. And you have to look at it from the client's perspective, where they're altering their body forever. They're trusting you. They're coming into this sometimes scary situation. Like, I have anxiety, so I know exactly what it's like to be scared to go do something. So if they don't feel comfortable, if they feel like they're a burden, if they feel, like it's not going like they want it to be, then you're never going to see them again. And they probably won't recommend you to anybody. So it's very important to make sure that your clients feel comfortable, they feel welcomed, they feel like they can, talk about their ideas for the tattoo with you. A lot of artists that I've worked with, not at my current shop, but at the other shop that I worked at, they would be talking with a client about an idea for a tattoo, and he would literally say, no, you don't want that. No, that's not going to look good. And it's really rude. He didn't really have that many repeat clients. I always try to make people feel comfortable, give them a good experience, even if the tattoo is like maybe not as good as the picture that they gave me to work with or something along those lines, because I know like if I make them feel good, if I make them feel like they're welcome here, which they always are, then they're going to be coming back. So, and then when they come back to get something else, I can touch up the previous tattoo that I did, and then it just keeps going. So yeah, very, very underrated and important tip that I can give you guys as you're starting out, as you're starting to work with the public, as you're starting to interact with your clients while you're tattooing. Most of all, through learning how to tattoo, I've learned patience, I've learned self-discipline, and I've learned it's also very humbling. I have never been fired from anything in my whole life. I've been I was, like the gifted child. I had everything set up for me to succeed, and all of these plans that I had in my head didn't work out. So when I turned to tattooing, I kind of had the same mentality, like, oh, I was good at a lot of things, and I'll probably be good at this. Like even the first tattoo that I did on myself, I was like, maybe prodigy, which is ridiculous. As time went on, I ended up getting fired from the first job that I ever cared about, and that was it was like worse than a breakup, it was like my whole career idea was gone. And so it was a very, very humbling experience. I found that spite is a very strong motivator. And so ever since I, suffered that heartbreak of being let go from my first apprenticeship, I've had a fire in me to prove that they were wrong for doing that. And it's helped motivate me a lot to push myself, to learn as much as I can, to constantly be improving, constantly trying to do the best that I can, whether it's a small name tattoo or whether it's my most ambitious piece to date. And yeah, I think it's very important to learn that humility, because I know that I'm not the best, and that it's going to be a long time before I am the best, if I even make it that far. But I am the best I can be right now, and that's really important to me. So learning humility, learning patience, learning self-critique, and also learning how to let go of previous bad experiences and previous bad tattoos has really shaped how I interact with people and how I go about my day in a tattoo shop. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It's 91 degrees in this room, so I'm gonna get going. Thanks for watching this video. Feel free to check out the other ones on my channel. Bye.